What is up, y'all? Back with another video. And in this one, I've got a couple movies to go over. Two short movie reviews and then a couple new Blu-ray pickups. Yeah, the last 2 days have been a little slow as far as the mail goes. Not sure what's going on because I've got like 26 movies coming to me. Where are they at? Send them. Let's go. But yeah, I've only gotten two in the last couple days, and we'll go over those here at the end. And you're probably like, why is your face so red? Again, because I was out hiking, did a mountain called Skyscraper Peak, and did I wear any sunscreen? No, of course not. And then I turned my hat around because it was so windy, I thought it was going to blow it off my head. So I went into aerodynamic mode, turned it around, and then I had no shade at all from the bill, and my face got roasted. And you're probably like, we don't even care. We don't care about your hikes. Tell us about movies. Okay, let me get into the movies. And I'm just going to start off by saying I spent probably 5 hours today scanning back in all my DVDs into the blu-ray.com app. I was like, let me go ahead and scan one to see if it's even recognizing DVDs anymore. Because, as you know, the site went down a couple weeks ago, and it totally just nuked my entire DVD collection. It saved all the Blu-rays, but it got rid of all the DVDs. So I went ahead and I scanned one in to see if it would even recognize it, and sure enough, it did. So then I, went ahead and I just did all of them. And this time I started from the back of the alphabet and went all the way from Z to A. That way when I scroll through them, without even having to, because you can put them in alphabetical order, but right now they're scanned in alphabetical order. And I was noticing a lot of titles in there that I forgot I even had. Like The Last Action Hero. And there was just a few of them that I was like, oh wow, I've already got this. That's cool. The Bourne Identity. I didn't even realize I had that. And then I also noticed that most of the titles that I wanted to upgrade to Blu-ray, I've already upgraded. I'd say there's maybe 25 to 30 more that I'll upgrade when I see them come through for cheap. And most of them are comedies. Like The Cable Guy, Black Sheep, Three Amigos, Coming to America, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, just stuff like that. Stuff I'm in no hurry to get, but like I said, when I see it come through on Vinted for cheap, I'm going to snatch them. And they will come through, too. I found that if you're just patient with that site, what you want will come through. As long as you check it regularly, a couple times a day, you can grab what you want. For an example, I ordered Terminator 3 today. It finally came through for $1.50. In the past, it's been $5 minimum. $5. I saw one for $5. I saw one for $6. One for $8. One for $9. And I was like, I'm not paying that much for Terminator 3. It's not that great, but I want to get it just to complete my Terminator collection. And today, it came through for $1.50. It said very good condition. So I was like, there you go. Just gotta wait, and stuff will come through. And yeah, and I also just want to talk about this whole PlayStation getting rid of physical media thing. I know it's been a hot topic. It's like a couple weeks ago, it was the Supergirl movie. That's what everybody was talking about. This week, it's PlayStation getting rid of physical gaming discs. I think they're starting that in 2028. Not really sure. Like I said, I don't play games, so it's not a real big deal to me that they're getting rid of physical games because I could care less. I've got a stack of like PlayStation 3 games about this wide. And it's pretty much all like Guitar Hero games and like Need for Speed games. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, I don't have any games. So like I said, that really doesn't bother me. However, the writing is on the wall because Sony owns the rights to the Blu-ray disc. So if they want, they could get rid of Blu-rays. And I'm sure that that's in their future plans at some time. I mean, at some point in the future, I feel like they're going to make that move. They're going to try and get rid of physical movies too. They don't want people owning movies. They don't want people reselling movies and making money off that. No, they want to make all the money. So I can totally see them getting rid of Blu-rays. Which, if they do, that's going to be like the end of, collecting movies, as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I'm going crazy right now. I'm trying to get everything that I want. Maybe spending a little more than I should. And but like I said, I'm trying to get everything that I want right now while it's cheap. Because if they ever do announce that they're going to stop making Blu-ray discs, or they're going to, not allow anybody else to make, Blu-ray discs or put their stuff on Blu-ray, I have a feeling that the price of these things is going to skyrocket. That's when they're going to be, become collectible, is when they, announce they're going to not make them anymore. So I'm getting everything that I can get right now. And I'm getting pretty close too. I mean, I've knocked out a bunch of stuff off my wish list. The stuff that's still on my wish list is like hard to get. And one that needs to come through on Vinted that I haven't seen yet on Blu-ray is Master and Commander, Far Side of the World with Russell Crowe. That is a fantastic movie, and I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet. I mean, it's not that expensive to buy brand new, but I'm just surprised that, it hadn't come through on Blu-ray yet. If you look it up on DVD, there's like 15 people selling it on DVD, but nobody has it on Blu-ray yet. But like I said, if you just stay patient, you'll get what you want. I guarantee one of these days I'm going to start scrolling through and it's going to be there. It's going to be there. But yeah, let's get into the couple movie reviews. And like I said in my previous video, I don't glaze these movies. Okay, I'm not going to just worship all these movies as the greatest thing since sliced bread. If I don't like a movie, I'm going to say so, regardless of if that makes people angry or not. And this first one might make some people angry. But let's get into it. Serenity. I literally just got done trying to watch this. I really can't even call this a movie review because I slept through half of this. This was just not what I was expecting it to be. I was expecting this to be kind of like a Star Trek type movie where you got your little crew of characters and they're flying around in their spaceship. I expected it to have some humor in it, and they would get into adventures, and it pretty much took place in space. That's really not what this was. Not what this was at all. I feel like this was an extended episode of a TV show. That's just what it felt like to me. I realize this is coming off the heels of the Firefly series, the TV show called Firefly that I never saw. So I didn't understand, the background of the characters and everything like that. But it just felt like a TV episode to me. Just a really long and extremely boring TV episode. I could not get into it. And when the 90-pound, 17-year-old girl beat up every single guy in the bar, I almost turned this off. I almost just was like, oh my God, are you kidding right now? She beat up the one guy that was all into weapons and had all the muscles and everything. Yeah, she even kicked his ass. He had a hold of her, and she still managed to beat his ass somehow. It was ridiculous. It was so over the top and stupid. I realized she had like mental abilities to see things, but that does not give her physical strength. That does not give her the strength to beat up a bunch of guys. She could hit those guys as hard as she wants, and they'd walk right through it. These little spin kicks and shit, they're not going to knock anybody down. Completely ridiculous. So like right there, I almost checked out. The only reason I didn't is because I spent like $2 for this, and I felt like I should get my money's worth and just see it through. Just watch it. I would say the one good thing about this movie is that the women in this movie were not hard to look at. All of them were pretty beautiful. So that was a plus. But I could not get into the characters. It was not what I was expecting it to be. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It could have been unexpected, but in a positive sense. However, this was unexpected in a negative sense. And the lettering on this is so ridiculous. Is that papyrus? Is that the papyrus text that I've got on my editing software? That looks like papyrus. Looks like the same text that they use for Avatar too. Papyrus. But yeah, just not good. Finally at the end, I got woken up to like a outer space battle scene, and I was like, oh, finally. Like they're actually flying around in space and doing something, not just talking throughout the whole thing. Yeah, and what's up with the weapons in this? All the weapons look like they're from like 1870. They look like old like Western guns or something. I don't know, man. I know people like this. This is like a cult favorite, but like I said, I could not get into it. Wasn't my cup of tea. I would not give that a high rating, and I would not recommend it. And moving on to the second movie review, The Crow with Brandon Lee. I don't think I had seen this since it was at the movies. I know I saw it in the theaters because my cousin got me in for free, but I don't think I've seen it since then. And this was really good. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the atmosphere, just that dark, gritty city. And it had some like recognizable faces too, especially as the bad guys. I'm like, I've seen all these guys before in other stuff. Like they look really young in this though. Partway through, I realized this is the movie that Brandon Lee got killed making. They shot him with a blank, but they forgot to take the something. It's like a bunch of amateurs were in charge of the weapons on set, and they didn't load the blanks right. And there was a scene where he gets shot with a 44, and they actually shot him in the stomach, and it killed him. So, very tragic. And as soon as I got done watching this, I immediately looked up to see if they made this from a comic book, because this just seemed like a comic book adaptation. It just had that comic book feel, that just over-the-top comic book feel. But like I said, they did a great job with this. This is an excellent movie. But there's this one scene where after he kills one of the bad guys, like he sets on fire this big outline of a crow that he made with like lighter fluid or something. And I was just thinking, dang, you'd have to be a pretty good artist to have drawn that crow out, that big giant crow, and to make it look all perfect and everything. It's like, dang, good job. I don't see what the point of that was. I don't know who was going to ever see it. It probably burned for what, 2 minutes and then it went out. But it was cool. It's just like a comic book type thing. And his name, Draven, Eric Draven, it's like got the word Raven in it. But I just felt like whoever came up with that name was like, we need to put the word Raven in there. Could it be Praven? No, it doesn't sound cool. How about Graven? No. Braven? No. Draven, yes. Draven with a D. Make it Draven. But yeah, as I was looking this up after I got done watching it, I realized the guy that had done it came from like an indie comic from like 1989 is what it said. And the guy that made the comic up actually did it because I think his fiance got killed or died or something like that. And he was real devastated about it. And that's where he got the inspiration for the character, because something happened to one of his loved ones and one of his loved ones died. And then when they made the movie and Brandon Lee died, I guess that guy that made the comic was like so upset. He's like, seeing Brandon Lee die was like reliving, my loved one's death all over again. And at that point he said he wished he would have never even come up with the comic book because he was so broken up about Brandon Lee getting killed. So it's kind of a tragic story surrounding this. And then I think there's even a newer remake that I heard was absolute trash. So I probably won't be seeing that either. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the original. And like I said, this was just really good. I mean, there were like images and stuff that I had remembered seeing, but there was a lot of stuff in there, a lot of details and a lot of storyline that I really got watching it here just recently. Yeah, this even has Ernie Hudson in it. Good old Ernie Hudson, man. I've been watching a lot of movies with Ernie Hudson. Ghostbusters. If someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. Ghostbusters. He was in one of those dumb shark movies, and boom, he shows up again in The Crow. That's about all I've got for the movie reviews. I know it wasn't much. Like I said, I spent most of the day scanning in my DVDs, so I didn't watch a lot of stuff. But as I was scanning in my DVDs, I was watching the Tenacious D Masterworks, parts 1 and 2. I had those on DVD, so I popped them in. They're so funny. Dude, Jack Black is hilarious. If you're a Tenacious D fan, I would highly recommend getting Tenacious D, The Complete Masterworks. That is an excellent 2-disc DVD set. I don't know if they have that available on Blu-ray, but I've got the DVD, and I've probably watched that DVD 25, 30 times. I have watched it so many times, but I hadn't seen it in a while, so I popped it in and just had it in the background. Oh my God, it's hilarious. It's got this full concert in there. It's got all like the HBO episodes and a bunch of other stuff. It is literally like the complete masterworks for Tenacious D. And then part 2 is not quite as good. It's got another concert, which isn't as good, and it's got some extras in there as well. But yeah, Tenacious D Complete Masterworks, 2 thumbs up. And then after those were over, I went ahead and I put in my Metallica Cunning Stunts concert DVD. And that is old. I mean, I remember I got that new when it came out. God, that thing is probably 25, 26 years old. I mean, they even still had Jason Newsted in the band. James Hetfield looked 50 years younger. It was just good. It was good. So I watched those while I was doing my DVD scanning. But let's get into the 2 new Blu-ray pickups. And the first one here, I really can't talk about it. Because that's the first rule of Fight Club. You don't talk about it. So there's really nothing I can say about this that you don't already know. This is a classic. Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, excellent movie. Well made. Great movie. I saw this in the theater when it first came out. I thought it was awesome. Fight Club. Yep, not much to say about it. And then the one I got today is the Point Break remake. I believe this is from 2015. At least that's what the person put on Vinted. They said this was from 2015. I have not seen this. I'm a fan of the original with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. I think that's an excellent movie. So I wanted to go ahead and get this. I know this got bad reviews. People didn't like it. However, the visuals, some of the stunts and just the, the visual effects and stuff look really good. The skydiving, I think there's like a rock climbing scene. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of like cool action scenes in this that I'm looking forward to watching. Like I said, I don't have high hopes for this. I know it's not going to be as good as the original, but I'm hoping it's cool and it's in its own way. Fingers crossed. So yeah, the new Point Break. But yeah, that's all I've got for this video, guys. We're going to keep it short and sweet today. Hope you enjoyed it. And until the next one, y'all, peace.